Am I audible? I hope now I am audible to everyone. I hope now I am properly audible to everyone. Okay, so welcome everyone to the session, and in today's session the topics which we are going to discuss, let us have a look at this. We are going to discuss three very important articles today. We are discussing only three because these are comprehensive articles. The first one article is with respect to the change in MG Narega. The change in MG Narega Act, for a very long period of time, like from last 20 years, we have this MG Narega which was operational in India. Now we are going to see there is a new bill which has been introduced, that is VBGRAM-G. Okay. So here we have the new act, Viksit Bharat, Generation of Rural Employment and Ajivika Mission. Okay. So this is one such new initiative which has come up, and we are going to talk about this. Then we are going to talk about the second thing, the new education regulator, that what is the new arrangement which is going to be there with respect to education in India, higher education in India. And third part is related to the Shanti Bill. The Shanti Bill is related to the nuclear power reforms in India. So these are the three topics, the three comprehensive topics which we are going to look into in today's session. These three are very much prominent topics. Okay. So we will try to see what are the changes and all. But before that, let us see some questions. Consider the following statement. Type 1 diabetes generally develop after 40 years of age. Type 5 diabetes occurs in people with lower body mass index, and gestational diabetes develop during pregnancy due to increased insulin resistance. So why there is a name change in MG Narega? What is the new scheme? We are going to talk about this. So here we have the first one, type 1 diabetes generally develop after 40 years of age. Type 5 diabetes occurs in people with lower body mass index, and gestational diabetes develop during pregnancy due to increased insulin resistance. So how many statements are correct? Not just change in the name, there is a comprehensive change in the act itself. Okay. The B option. The first option is incorrect. You know that type 1 diabetes can develop just after the age, just after the birth of the child. So it doesn't wait till 40 years. Type 5 diabetes occur in people with lower body mass index. That is correct. And gestational diabetes develop during pregnancy due to increased insulin resistance. So that's why the answer here will be option number B. Thechopalari wetland, Tamil Nadu, Udaipur Jheel, Rajasthan, Gogabil Lake, Bihar, and Kopra Jalashay, Chhattisgarh. So how many of them are correctly matched? How many of them are correctly matched? We have Thechopalari wetland, Tamil Nadu, Udaipur Jheel, Rajasthan, Gogabil Lake, Bihar, and Kopra Jalashay, Chhattisgarh. So question number 2. How many of them are correctly matched? How many of them are correctly matched? B option. B option, D option. B option and D option. If we look at this, Thechopalari wetland, it is not there in Tamil Nadu, it is the one such part in Sikkim. So first part is incorrect. Udaipur Jheel, it is not in Rajasthan, it is in the state of Bihar. So this one is incorrect. Gogabil Lake, it is there in Bihar, and Kopra Jalashay, it is in Chhattisgarh. So correct answer here will be option number B, that is only 2. So here again the answer is option number B, that is 2 only. Now we have the third question. Global River Cities Alliance was launched at COP26. The River Cities Alliance was launched by Ministry of Jal Shakti and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So which of the statements are correct here? Yes, Udaipur Jheel is there in Bihar. Udaipur Jheel is there in Bihar, correct? Okay. Now if we look at this question number 3, if you look at the question number 3, the first statement is saying that the Global River Cities Alliance was launched at COP26. The second is saying that the River Cities Alliance was launched by Ministry of Jal Shakti and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So A option and B option. Okay, few answers as option A, few answers as option B. If we look at this, option A is 1 only, B is 2 only, C is both 1 and 2, and D option is neither 1 nor 2. Udaipur city is there in Rajasthan, correct? Udaipur city is there in Rajasthan, but Udaipur Jheel, which is a Ramsar site, is there in the state of Bihar. So here again, we have the second option as correct one, first one is incorrect, it is COP28. COP28. So that's why the answer here will be option number B, that is 2 only. Okay. Now, I have already told you about this Parivartan batch, which is a test series ka mentorship program. It is going to start from 23rd of December. Okay. And here it is available in offline centers as well as online centers. If you look at this, in this part, we have got test series plus mentorship. There will be coverage of the entire GS plus CSAT plus the current affairs and all in this Parivartan batch. At the same time, we are also having this crash course for 2026. It is going to start from 12th of January. It is going to start from 12th of January, and we are going to cover GS, CSAT plus current affairs all in this program. At the same time, 18 tests are also going to be included as part of this crash course. So this is also going to start from 12th January. It is going to be there in online and bilingual mode. It is going to be there in online and bilingual mode. Okay. So this is one thing which we see in the part of crash course 2026. Test schedule abhi tak nahi mila hai. Have you checked the portal? Have you checked it at the online portal? Just check it once, and after checking it, mention that in the comment box. I will forward it directly to the team. Okay. Now, coming to this one part. So earlier, we were having this MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. But now this MG Narega is going to change. Instead of MG Narega, we are going to have a new act called as BVG RAM-G. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? Like this new job guarantee plan. So what is going to be this? Okay. So if we look at this, it is Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rojgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen. So as you can see, the focus here is in rural areas. So here we are having this Ajivika Mission, like Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin. So this is going to change. This is going to change the MG Narega Act. Now, how it is going to be different? What are the different points? First of all, number of days of employment. Number of days of employment. In the previous act, in MG Narega, it was 100 days. Although it was 100 minimum number of days, but in actual it was 100, 100 was the maximum cap. In most of the states, 100 was the maximum cap. Okay. So what we see that now here we are having 100 to 125 days now. So now this is changing, that it will be 125 days. Second thing, funding arrangement. Now under the previous system, the majority of the fund was given by the central government. Like 90%, almost 90% of the funding was coming from the union government and 10% funding was from the state government. So 90% was from the union government and 10% was from the state government. But now what we see that it is going to change. 60:40 for union and states. Union and states. Then what we will see that 90:10 for Himalayan states, northeastern states, okay, and full funding for UTs with no legislature. Those UTs which are having legislature, they will have 60:40. UT with legislature, they will have 60:40. 90:10 for Himalayan states and northeastern states. 100% for UT without legislature. 100% union for UTs without legislature. So this is one thing. This is one thing which we see in the new funding arrangement. Okay. Now there is one thing. There is one term which is becoming quite famous, that it is going to be supply driven. Supply driven. Earlier it was demand driven. Earlier it was demand driven. So what is the meaning of this demand driven versus supply driven? Now what is the meaning of this demand driven versus the supply driven? Earlier states used to give the plan. States used to give the plan. And accordingly the union used to give the budget. So there was flexibility in the budget. There was flexibility. There was flexibility in budget. Now what we will see that a fixed budget, a fixed allocation by the union. Now there will be a fixed allocation by the union. Fixed allocation by union. Now there was also a very fundamental change. There is also a very fundamental change in the earlier cases. In the case of MG Narega, there was a provision. In the case of MG Narega, there was a provision that the states used to decide the nature of work. If we talk about the nature of work, it was earlier decided mostly by states. Now this is something which is going to be determined by union. Now this is something which is going to be determined by union. So earlier there was more and more autonomy to the states, that they can decide which programs will be run or which works will be executed as part of the MG Narega. Under the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission, Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen, now the work is going to be decided by the union. So there is two very important things which you have to understand here. Earlier, states were giving less fund and deciding more. Earlier, the state governments were giving less fund and they were deciding more about the work. Now the states will be giving the more fund and they will have the lesser opportunity to decide about the work. So many of the people are saying that it is centralization of the power. It is about the centralization of power. Earlier states were having autonomy that they can decide what works have to be carried out. And even then, they were giving less funds. Now the states will be giving more fund and at the same time, they will not have that autonomy in deciding the nature of the work. Okay. Now at the same time, as part of this, now there will be a break of around 60 days during peak season. Like earlier in the MG Narega, there was no break. That throughout the year, MG Narega works could have been done. Now we see that there is a challenge that if MG Narega work is being carried out during the agricultural peak season, there is a scarcity of labor. There is a scarcity of labor during this agricultural season. So now to keep that in control, government has decided that under the new VBG, RAM-G, there will be a break during the agricultural peak season. So this is also one thing which have been announced under the new Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen. Okay. Now what is the nature of work which has been decided? The nature of work which has been decided, if you look at this, it will be related to water security through water related works, core rural infrastructure, livelihood related infrastructure, and works for the mitigation of extreme weather events. So there will be work which will be mostly related with this one part. Okay. So pause for 60 days in season of agriculture. So this is the new bill which has been introduced in the parliament. Many people have been saying that it is diluting the provisions of MG Narega. Under the MG Narega, there was right-based work, and as part of this VBG, Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen, there will be no such right to work as was there as part of MG Narega. So this is one thing which has been said by many of the experts. So this is the new part. In the upcoming days, you will be getting a number of editorials with respect to this, that how MG Narega was good or how MG Narega was bad. Then this new scheme, this new policy, how it is going to be beneficial or how it is going to be challenging. Okay. So first of all, we have to see about the provisions of this bill. Now there is a second bill which we also have to see, and that is the bill related to replacement of the higher education authorities in India. Now at present, if we look at this, at present we are having multiple institutions. Like we have University Grants Commission, we have this University Grants Commission, we have All India Council of Technical Education. Okay. In fact, you will find that we are also having other different institutions which are there. Okay. We are having this National Council for Teachers Education, NCT. Okay. So these different institutions are working at present. Now they are all going to be subsumed. This entire thing, they are going to be subsumed under this one single thing, there will be one single institution. There is going to be one simple institution, that is Viksit Bharat Adhishtan Bill. Sorry, the like this is going to be like changed into a like new institutement, Viksit Bharat. Sorry, it will be called as Viksit Bharat Shikshan Sansthan. Okay. Just one second. Let me check the name of it. Just one second. Let me give you the name of this institute. Okay. Like there will be one single institution. That is Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishtan. Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishtan. So all these things are going to be subsumed under this Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishtan. And this one body is going to have three different bodies working under this. There will be Viksit Bharat Vinyaman Parishad, Viksit Bharat Vinyaman Parishad. There will also be Viksit Bharat Gunvatta Parishad, and Viksit Bharat Manak Parishad. Viksit Bharat Manak Parishad. So there will be four different, there will be one central institution, Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishtan, and under that there will be three other organizations, Viksit Bharat Vinyaman Parishad. So this name, from the name itself, you can understand it is for regulation of education, higher education in India. It will be for regulation of higher education in India. Viksit Bharat Gunvatta Parishad. It will be for quality standards and all. And Viksit Bharat Manak Parishad. It will be giving the accreditation to different college and universities. Like right now, UGC is giving that accreditation to many of the universities or the colleges. Okay. So in same manner, now under this Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishtan, there will be three other institutions which are going to like work for different other things. Okay. Now you will find that this is going to be a 12-member body. This is something which is going to be a 12-membered body, and they can have up to 14 members. They will be having up to 14 members. Okay. Now at the same time, University Grant Commission, it was having this role to give the grants to the universities and colleges. Okay. So here you will find that giving the funds to universities and colleges. Now this is something which will be decided by Ministry of Education. It is something which is going to be decided by Ministry of Education. In India, earlier there was a body, UGC, like right now also UGC is there, University Grants Commission. So University Grants Commission is generally an autonomous body. This is an autonomous body. It is not working under any ministry, and it is like giving the grants to the universities on the basis of their performance, on the basis of their course, on the basis of their syllabus. But now we see that it is going to be done directly by the Ministry of Education. It is going to be done directly by Ministry of Education. They will be giving the funds to the universities. Okay. This is something which is applicable to all the colleges and universities, whether they are central universities or state level universities and colleges. So it is applicable to all colleges except law and medical. Except law and medical colleges, it is applicable to all. Okay. So this is something which is applicable to all colleges and universities. Applicable to all colleges and universities except law and medical. Except law and medical. So for them, there will be different bodies which will be regulating this. But when we talk about all other schools, colleges, engineering colleges or any other colleges, they will be coming under this new Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan. Yes, name ko English mein kyun nahi rakhte? Now this is a government policy. This is a government policy. Yes, it has been opposed by many of the southern states also, that nowadays we are seeing that there is more and more use of Hindi language in giving the names of different acts or even the different institutions. Okay. So this is one government policy. There is always an option that when the government changes, they can change the name. Changing the name is quite common. US has been changing the name of Gulf of Mexico. US has changed the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Okay. Now, that is one part. Okay. Now, this is something which was done way back in 2018 also. In 2018 also, there was a similar act which was introduced. Okay. There was a similar act which was introduced. But somehow that bill did not become the act. Now this time it has been sent to a joint parliamentary committee. This bill has been sent to the joint parliamentary committee. There will be discussion on this and then maybe later it is going to be passed. नाम change करने का purpose क्या हो सकता है? What can I say about it? What can be the purpose? The purpose has not been made public. The purpose has not been made public, that for what purpose the name has been changed. The problem is not with the name. The problem is also this, that the funding of the universities, if it is under the control of the government, then that raises a question that educational institutions, are they under the control of government or are they autonomous institutions? It is generally believed that the universities and colleges should remain autonomous. They should have flexibility in deciding their syllabus in their curriculum, as long as it is going through the policies of the parliament, the policies of the country. Okay. It should not be against the country, but there should be autonomy in deciding the syllabus, deciding the course, deciding the fee structures and all. There should be autonomy for colleges, for selection of people, for getting the maximum result, for getting the best result. But nowadays we see that throughout the world there is a control on educational institutions. You may have seen that in US also, many of the universities are facing budget cuts. Many of the US universities are facing the budget cuts because they are going against the federal government. Okay. So that is one part. Okay. Now the third bill which is also quite famous. The third bill which is also quite famous is the Shanti Bill. This is also one bill called as the Shanti Bill. What is the meaning of Shanti Bill? Sustainable harnessing and advancement of nuclear energy. Sustainable harnessing and advancement of nuclear energy for transforming India. So this is also a bill which has been introduced. Okay. This is also this one bill which has been introduced in the Lok Sabha. Okay. What is the reason to exclude the law and medical colleges from this bill? The basic thing is law and medical colleges, they are certain part which needs more and more precision, which needs more and more like specific guidelines. One comprehensive body might not be able to see what is or what should be the medical syllabus, what should be the regulation for the medical colleges and all. So even right now we see that medical colleges are being regulated in a different manner. Okay. Law colleges, they are also coming under the bar councils and everything. So, and there is also one thing. See, doctors, they are quite essential. They are quite essential for the purpose of life and all. So there we cannot take any risk. Okay. Second thing, even if you dare to take a risk with the health, you should not dare to take the risk with a lawyer. So why the law education has been kept outside of the purview of this? That by the time you are including the law colleges under these bills, before the bill goes to the Lok Sabha or before it is passed by the Lok Sabha, there will be so many cases against the bill by the different lawyers across the country that the implementation of the bill itself is going to become a challenge. Okay. So, you know that you should not be messing up with the lawyers. You should not be messing up with the lawyers. So that is one part. You can take a risk even with the doctors. You can take a risk with the doctors, like not everyone is getting ill these days. Okay. So you can take a little bit risk there. But then there are different category of professionals, lawyers. So if you are going to take a risk with them, you know what is the repercussion? A few months back, the Delhi government passed an order. The Delhi government has passed an order that the police officers will be giving their presentation from their offices itself. It is not required for them to appear before the court. The physical appearance is not required before the court. That they will not be required to be physically present in the court. They can go for the interrogation and everything from their office itself. So they have come with this one order. There was so much protest by the lawyers that within a few weeks that order was withdrawn, and it was decided that yes, the police officers will be going to the courts. So there is a different species. There is a different species called as lawyers. So whenever you see that why there are no laws or why there are no other things in order to regulate the lawyers, so till the time there is rule of law and there is law in the country, do not mess with one species. Do not mess ever with one professional, that is lawyers. They have so many arrangements that you will get confused. Okay. So that is one part. Why there is no such messing up with the lawyers. Okay. Now, so what is this act all about? Okay. When we are talking about this Shanti Bill, what is so unique in this? What is so unique in this Shanti Bill? Okay. Now there are certain key provisions. Okay. First of all, it is about opening up for the private sector. So till now, the Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, NPCIL, was the sole operator. NPCIL, now it will be no longer sole operator. Now there will be entry of private players. There is going to be entry of private players. That is the number one transformation. There is going to be the entry of the private players. That will be the first part which has been done as part of this reform. Okay. Now, second part which we also see, Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited. Nay, it's not because like I am, it's not because of that, Bharat. It's because you can see anywhere, you can see anywhere that there is one like a species where you should not be messing up, and that is the lawyers. Okay. So no longer sole operator, there will be entry of the private players. Second part is all about the nuclear liability. The nuclear liability. So here it has been made clear that the supplier will no longer be liable for equipment failure or otherwise. So what we see that the suppliers, this was one of the major challenge, that under the civil nuclear liability law, under the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act, CLND, under this Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act, there was a provision which ensured that the suppliers of the nuclear technology can also be held accountable in case of a nuclear damage. Okay. Third part, that liability, it has been redefined. The liability has been redefined. So what is the redefinition of the liability? If you look at this, like those who are having power above 3600 megawatt can pay up to 3000 crore as the liability. So those who are having, if the capacity is 3600 megawatt, so then the liability is up to 3000 crore. If the capacity is 1500 to 3600 megawatt, then in that case the liability has been defined as 1500 crore. And less than 150, okay, if there is less than 150, then it will be rupees 150 crore. So for different setups, for different portions, different liabilities have been fixed. Earlier the liability was about the damage. Okay. Earlier the liability was about the damage. So if a damage is of around like 5000 crore, so 1500 crore is going to be paid by the operator, and the remaining is going to be paid by the government of India. That 1500 crore is going to be paid by the operator, the remaining is going to be paid by the government of India. Now it is not about the extent of damage. Now it is not about the damage. Now the amount has been fixed, that if a damage of a nuclear damage has been caused by an installation of power 1500 to 3600 megawatt, so the final compensation will be just 1500 crore rupees, irrespective of the damage caused. So it's now not depending on the amount of the damage, it depends on the size of the installation. So here the liability has been fixed. The liability has been fixed, that how much liability will be there for the operator also. Even for violation of the law, the maximum penalty for violation of the nuclear liability, for the violation of this law, for the violation of the Shanti Bill, the maximum penalty has been set up as 1 crore only. Okay. So if anyone is violating any of the provisions of the Shanti Bill, in that case the maximum penalty is 1 crore rupees only. So it is redefining the nuclear laws in India. Now, one of the major reform which has been said is the entry of the private players. Second major reforms is related to the suppliers' liability. That now the suppliers are no longer liable for any nuclear damage occurring due to their equipments in India. So this was a major hurdle. This was a major hurdle for India's deal with any country in the world. Till date, only Russia has got nuclear power plants in India. No other country has established a nuclear power plant in India because of the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act. Okay. So due to which, now the government has decided that this law is going to be replaced. Now we have a new thing, sustainable harnessing for advancement of nuclear energy for transforming India. The Shanti Bill has been introduced for nuclear energy. Okay. So I hope this one part is clear, that what is Shanti Bill, what are the major provisions of the Shanti Bill. So there are three major laws here. One part we have seen, the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen, which is replacing the MG Narega. Second part which we have seen is the Higher Education Bill, which is going to replace the UGC, AICT, NCT. There will be a Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishthan, and there will be several components under this. Then we have the third part, Shanti Bill. It is going to remove the Atomic Energy Act of India. It is also going to remove the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act of 2010. So these are the three major things. These are the three major things which we see in case of the acts now. Okay. They are in the billing stage. They are in the bill stage. Maybe they are going to be passed in this session or maybe next session. So we will have to see that. Okay. Now coming to the prelims specific topic, there is the Simlipal Tiger Reserve. Odisha has notified the Simli Tiger Reserve as a national park. This is the 107th national park. Now this is the biggest confusion of the decade of 5 decades of the century, you can say. For a very long period of time, Simlipal was being considered as a national park. It was being considered as a national park, but in actual, it was not officially notified as a national park. Because due to some errors and some mistakes, the official publication of this in the Gazette as a national park was not completed. So now Simlipal is officially a national park. Okay. Now we see that it is the world's only home to the wild melanistic tigers or the black tigers. It is the home to the black tigers. Okay. It is the 107th national park of India. It is home to 40 Royal Bengal tigers, okay, and shelter to 25% of Odisha's elephant population, 104 orchid species and many endemic. There is one thing, there is a mix of sal trees. There is also one tree called as Semul. Okay, Semul. There is this one tree called as Semul, which is quite famous here. Semul tree is quite famous here. So that's why its name is also Simlipal. That's why its name is also Simlipal. Second part is the fast breeder reactor. Now nuclear energy is so much there in the news, so you can also expect a question about the fast breeder reactor. It is having mixed oxide as the fuel, that is plutonium-239 plus uranium-238. It is fast breeder, so no moderator is used. In the case of normal reactors like pressurized heavy water reactor or boiling water reactor, there is a use of moderator which slows down the neutron. But in case of fast breeder reactor, there is no need of slowing down the neutron, so there is no moderator. Coolant, we are using liquid sodium, which has an excellent heat transfer properties. Okay. So the fast neutrons, they are converting the uranium-238 into plutonium-239. So that's why there is more fuel while generating power. The fast breeder reactor, there are three parts of it. Fast, because it has no moderator. Breeder, because it is generating a fuel, that is plutonium-239. And reactor, because it is a nuclear reactor which carries on the nuclear fission reaction. So India has got a prototype fast breeder reactor, but not a full type or a full scale fast breeder reactor. So this is one of the thing which is there. Okay. Fast breeder reactor at Kalpakkam. It is under commissioning. Okay. Now there is one lake which was also there in the news, which is the Vembanad Lake. Vembanad Lake. So when we talk about this, it is the longest lake in India and the largest in the state of Kerala. It is fed by 6 major rivers. It is part of Kerala's backwater tourism circuit. The annual Nehru Trophy snake boat race is also there, and it is also a Ramsar site in India. Now we see that there are around 96 Ramsar sites in India. There is a competition among 3 things to get the century. There is a competition among 3 things to get the century. One is Ramsar. Second is Virat Kohli. And third is, there are 3 things which are moving towards century. Ramsar sites, Virat Kohli. Of course, you can see that in these days he is getting many centuries. And the third thing you all know about. So that is one part. These 3 are the prelims related topic. Now last day also, Vembanad is salt, like it is brackish water. It is having mixing of water from the sea. So there is a question for you. Many of you have given the answers in the comment box of the last day also. Approx 10 people have given answer, and you all have given the correct answer. So in the same light, I am giving you some more questions. This one, the 9th schedule was introduced in Constitution of India during the Prime Ministership of whom? And in which states of India there is presence of civil nuclear power plants? Okay. So let's see which one gets the century first. Okay. And in the next session, we will discuss more about the issue. So thank you everyone. Let's meet in the next session then. And then we will be discussing about the remaining portions. Okay. The 3 bills are there, very important bills. Just go through the editorials. I think from tomorrow onwards, there will be more such article with respect to these 3 things. So you will be getting a number of editorials also. We will discuss that as well. So thank you everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.